Boy interrupts parents' court battle. What he says leaves the entire room in tears. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and stale coffee, a sterile stage for the unraveling of a family. Marcus and Elena stood at opposite ends, their faces carved with years of unspoken resentment. Marcus, a black man whose hands bore the calluses of a construction worker, stared at the judge with a fire that could burn through steel. Elena, her light brown skin flushed with emotion, clutched a tissue, her eyes darting between defiance and despair. Their divorce hearing had spiraled into a vicious custody battle over their 15-year-old son, Jamal, who sat in the gallery, his heart pounding like a war drum. The room buzzed with tension. Marcus's lawyer argued his client's stability, his long hours to provide for Jamal, despite the racial slurs he endured on job sites. Elena's attorney countered, painting Marcus as absent, emotionally distant, and unfit, while emphasizing Elena's nurturing role. But beneath the legal jargon, something uglier festered. Elena's family, rooted in a community that whispered about Marcus's kind, had never accepted him. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind. He's not one of us. Marcus, too, carried scars, years of being judged, diminished, and dismissed because of his skin. Their marriage, once a defiant act of love, had crumbled under the weight of prejudice from both sides. Jamal sat rigid, his sneakers tapping silently against the floor. He was a lanky kid with his father's deep brown eyes and his mother's sharp cheekbones, a living bridge between two worlds now at war. He'd heard the fights, the accusations. Elena claimed Marcus's pride made him cold. Marcus said Elena's family poisoned her against him. Jamal felt like a trophy, not a son. The judge, a stern woman with gray streaks in her hair, leaned forward, her gavel poised like a guillotine. "This court will decide what's best for the child," she said, her voice cutting through the room. The arguments grew louder, sharper. Marcus's voice cracked as he spoke of the times he'd carried Jamal on his shoulders, teaching him to ride a bike in a neighborhood that eyed them with suspicion. Elena's eyes welled as she recounted sleepless nights caring for Jamal's fevers, her family's disapproval a constant shadow. The room felt like it might combust. Then, a new voice broke the chaos, a soft, trembling one. "Stop it. Both of you. Just stop." Jamal stood, his fists clenched, his voice echoing off the oak-paneled walls. The courtroom froze. The judge's gavel hovered, unstruck. Marcus and Elena turned, stunned. As their son stepped into the aisle, his face a storm of grief and fury. "You're tearing me apart, and you don't even see it." The bailiff moved to intervene, but the judge raised a hand, her eyes locked on Jamal. He wasn't supposed to speak. He was a spectator, a pawn in this legal chess game. But Jamal wasn't here to be silent. "You think this is about you?" he said, his voice rising. "About your fights, your pain? What about me? I'm the one who hears the whispers at school, the kids saying my dad's a thug or my mom's a traitor. I'm the one who has to pick a side when I love you both." Marcus's jaw tightened, his hands loosening on the podium. Elena's tissue fell to the floor, her lips parting in shock. Jamal's words poured out, raw and unfiltered. "Dad, you act like Mom's family is the only problem, but you shut her out too. You're so busy proving you're strong that you forget to be kind. And Mom, you let your family's hate get in your head. You think Dad's less because of what they say, don't you? I see it in your eyes." The room was silent, save for a faint sob from the back. A woman in a faded blue dress, unnoticed until now, dabbed her eyes. She was Mrs. Carter, Jamal's history teacher, who'd slipped into the courtroom to support him. She'd seen Jamal's struggles, the way he carried his parents' pain like a backpack full of bricks. She'd once told him, "You're more than their mistakes. Her presence, quiet but steady, gave Jamal the courage to keep going. You're both so busy fighting each other. You don't see what it's doing to me, Jamal said, his voice breaking. I'm not a prize to win. I'm your son. I need you to be my parents, not enemies. He paused, wiping his eyes. I heard Grandma say Dad's not good enough because he's black. I heard Dad's friends say Mom's family thinks they're better than us. You're letting everyone else's hate tear us apart. Why can't you just love me more than you hate each other? The twist came like a thunderclap. Mrs. Carter stood, her voice soft but clear. Your Honor, if I may? The judge, still reeling from Jamal's outburst, nodded. Mrs. Carter stepped forward, her hands clasped. I've taught Jamal for 2 years. He's brilliant, kind, and stronger than any kid should have to be. But he's breaking. I grew up in a mixed family too, and I watched my parents destroy each other over the same kind of hate. Don't let Jamal lose you both to this poison. Her words hit like a second wave. Marcus looked at Elena, his anger faltering. Elena's eyes met his, and for the first time in years, they saw each other not as enemies, but as two people who'd once vowed to face the world together. The judge cleared her throat, her own eyes glistening. Young man, she said to Jamal, you've given this court a lot to consider. I'm ordering a recess. I suggest both parties reflect on what's been said. In the hallway, Marcus and Elena stood apart, but closer than before. Jamal approached, hesitant. I just want us to be a family again, he whispered. Marcus reached out, pulling him into a hug. Elena joined, her arms trembling as they wrapped around them both. It wasn't a fix, not yet, but it was a start. Mrs. Carter watched from a distance, her smile bittersweet. She'd lost her family to prejudice, but maybe, just maybe, she'd helped save Jamal's. The wooden signboard on the bench, scrawled with Jamal's handwriting, read, A family torn by prejudice fights for love. It was a plea, a prayer, a promise. The courtroom reconvened, but the air had changed. Marcus and Elena agreed to mediation, to try for Jamal's sake. The judge nodded, her gavel gentle this time. As they left, strangers in the gallery wiped tears, moved by a boy's courage to speak truth to hate. What would you do if you saw prejudice tearing a family apart? Share your thoughts on justice, love, and healing.